This is the homepage of the Snap website. At the top, as you can see here. Click this link, Run Snap. Okay, so here we are. I am giving you now the overview of the environment here. You should see the following arrangement of regions in the window. At the top, this area is called Toolbar. In this area, there is a button to resize all blocks, to give you the best combination for comfortable reading. Just click this icon here. And then, click Zoom Block item. Choose the magnification ratio, or, you can move the slider here, to set the ratio you want, and then, click OK. Here, on the left-hand side, this area is called Palette. Snap provides us with 8 palettes. To choose a palette, just click one of these buttons. The palette area, at the left edge of the window, shows one palette at a time. Each palette has a bunch of blocks. Next to palette, is what called the scripting area. How do we develop the program in Snap? Usually, a computer program consists of one or more modules. In Snap, each module is called as a script. In other words, a Snap program consists of one or more scripts, each of which is made of blocks. A script is assembled by dragging blocks from a palette into the scripting area. When you push a block, so that its indentation is near the tab of the one above it. Blocks snap together. This is the history behind the name Snap for the language. If you don't want one of the part of the script you've written, and you want to get rid of it, you can drag back it into the palette area and it would go away. But if you change your mind, so you want to undo your last action, you can simply press Ctrl Z. And on the far right side of the screen, here, you see the area that is called the stage. In the stage, the program is going to visually display the output whatever you are telling the program to do. Next, the object here, that looks like an arrow. It is called a turtle. It is a funny name. But that's the name given by the people who wrote this language. The turtle and the script you built here, in the scripting area are connected together, as a thing called a sprite. At the very bottom here. This is called the sprite corral. Okay. Let's start to create a script or program to do something. It's a terribly exciting moment. To create any program, we must have the algorithms. This is a very important principle. Now, let's say we want to write a program that is going to give the correct answer of our previous problem, to find the sum of all integers between 1 and n. Of course, here, n must be a positive integer. In the previous slides, we've got the algorithms how to solve that problem. Let's translate our algorithms, step by step, into a Snap program. Step 1, Start. So, click the Control Palette button, at the top left here. We need some way of having a program starts. Drag this block, called when green flag clicked, into the scripting area. This is called a hat block. A script can't have more than one hat block, and the hat block can be used only at the top of the script. Its distinctive shape is meant to remind you of that. There are few other hat blocks here, but we will not use them. So, I will remind you again. It is very important. Don't forget how to translate the start, in the algorithms, into Snap. Use the hat block, when green flag clicked. Okay, now let's discuss the second step of our algorithms. Step 2, Input n. Here, it means, the program asks the user, about the value of n. So, n here is a variable. We need somehow to make a variable. First, click the Variable Palette button here, and, then, click the Make a Variable button. You will see a dialog box here. Type in the variable name, n. No need to change any options here, and then, click OK button. In the palette area, we can see that there's now a Delete a Variable button for deleting the variable, and there's an orange oval with the variable name in it. In this case the name is n. You can drag the variable into any script in the scripting area. Next to the oval is a checkbox, initially checked. When it's checked, you'll also see a variable watcher on the stage. But if it's unchecked, the variable watcher will disappear. Every variable will have an initial value of 0. Okay. Now let's return back to the discussion, how to make the program asks the user for an input. First, click the Sensing Palette button. And then, grab this ask block. And drag it to the scripting area. When the program run this command block on the stage, the turtle will ask, "What's your name?" And you get a dialog box here, and you can type in something on it as an input. That's it, and then it disappear. So where's that gone? In Snap, every time you do input, a special variable is going to be involved. It is the answer variable. It's a kind of catch-all variable for any input. Anything you ask the user for input will go to this answer variable. Instead of asking what's your name, we are going to say, enter n. So, the program is asking the user for entering the value of n, and the program is waiting for the user's respond. Once the user have already typed in an input, it gets stored in the answer variable. Because of that, we have to copy the value stored in the answer block into the variable n. How to do that? Click the Variable Palette button here, and then drag the set block to the scripting area. After that, finally, drag the answer variable to the set block. Okay, let me recap the main points of asking an input in Snap. You have to use 2 blocks. First, use the ask block. Second, use the set block, together with the answer variable. These things together must be in one package, or group. Okay, let's proceed to translate step 3 in our algorithms. Step 3, sum, equal 1 plus n times n is divided by 2. As you can see in this step, we need another variable, sum. So, I click the Variable Palette button. Click the Make a Variable button. Type in the variable name sum. Click OK. Now, how to write a mathematical expression in Snap. Click the Operators Palette button. You can see there are plenty of operators and functions. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, exponentiation, such as x squared, x cubed, x to the power of y. Next, this is modulus operator. It is used to get a remainder of an integer division. We will discuss after some slides. Next, this is the function of round. It is used to round a number with decimal part. Next, this is very special block. It is called the math function block. Why? Because it contains of several mathematical functions. Absolute value function, negative function. So, negative of x equals minus x, ceiling function, floor function. We will talk about these two functions, ceiling and floor, later. This is square root, sine, cosine, tangent. In Snap, there are only 3 trigonometric functions. Snap doesn't have cosecant, secant, cotangent. But I believe all of you know how to use sine, cosine, and tangent to get those missing trigonometric functions. Next, there are 3 inverse trigonometric functions: arc sine, arc cosine, and arc tangent. Next, this is natural logarithm, logarithm base 10, logarithm base 2, exponentiation, e to the power of something. Do you know what e is? The number e is a mathematical constant, approximately equal to 2.72. Next, for the last 2 functions, I think all of you can recognize them easily, can't you? The exponentiation of 10 to the power of something, and this is 2 to the power of something. Okay, let's continue to complete our program. So, we are dragging the addition block, the multiplication block, and the division block. Now, click the Variables button, and drag the variable n to the addition block. Type 1 in on another place. Next, drag the variable n to the division block, and type 2 in on the second place. Now, you drag the addition block to the multiplication block, and do the same to the division block as well. After that, we are going to store the result of this calculation in the variable sum. Click the Set block, and drag it to the scripting area. Choose the variable sum, and drag the calculation block to this place here. Now, let's proceed to translate step 4 in our algorithms. Step 4, display the value of n. This is very simple. Click the Looks Palette button. Well, as you can see, there are 4 command blocks to display something, either a text or a number. As a matter of fact, there is no meaningful difference between say and think block. The difference is how they appear on the stage. The say block is using a speech bubble, and the think block is using a thought bubble. We also have 2 different type of say commands. One of them will say something for the certain amount of time in seconds. In this case, it says, "Hello," for 2 seconds, and then the bubble disappear after 2 seconds have elapsed. There is another one, which simply say something, and that will remain until you do another say or think commands. So, I use one of them here. Now, let's discuss the last step. Step 5, stop. This step tells the program to stop. How to do it in Snap? It depends on the place of the stop. If the stop is the last step, then you can simply ignore it. It is optional. If the stop is somewhere in the pseudo code, then you can click the Control button and use Stop block with this script option. Now, you can run the program and see what will happen. Type in 100 as an input, and you should get 5050 as the output. Now, I am going to show you how to save the program. Click the file icon here, and then click Save as Item. Click Computer button. Type in the file name. For example, I am typing in snap 01. Then, click Save button. Your file will be saved in the download folder. Now, open the folder download. If you look at the file name, it has .xml extension. So, we know now that .xml is another extension of executable files.